happy full moon. It's going to be the cold moon. I decided to pull a spread for the next couple of weeks, and tonight what I have is gratitude. Number 18, all that I am and all that I'll be, forever in gratitude I'll eternally be. It's a lady in a veil. It looks like she's holding her light close to her. What I was reading from this is that it is a time to be very gracious. You know what? Before I pulled out everything, I ran into the storm card, and the storm card is talking about, you know, some type of change that's coming your way, something that's going to shake your world forever. I put that away and I decided to shuffle again. The reason why I did that was because I thought I was pulling for myself, and then I kind of scared myself. I put it away, and then I thought about it, and I was like, oh, I was shuffling for the collective. And so I decided to shuffle again. So I'm assuming that that storm card that I accidentally pulled, we all felt like, you know, the world was caving in on us not too long ago. And, you know, it was a big shift for all of us as a collective, and I feel like that storm has now passed, but now it's just a time to be grateful. The back of this card looks still, like, you know, after the first snow, when it's very, very quiet, when the snow is absorbing all the sounds and everything. So tonight, well, you know, with the full moon and everything in the next couple of weeks, it's a time to kind of reflect, and especially going into winter, you know, it's a time to reflect, tell stories. All that, those lessons that you learned in 2025 are going to come back to you in the winter, because you'll have time to reflect on it, because you won't be able to, you know, go out as much and everything. So let's go ahead and start reading the spread that I have. So what I'm seeing is that, you know, what we're feeling is the Eight of Swords. And when I think about the Eight of Swords, I think about when she has the blindfold over her. The blindfold, you can take off the blindfold. This bee is stuck in a bunch of dandelions, and dandelions aren't that hard to get out of. I mean, maybe if you're a bee, but you know, this could be all mental things that are going on, a lot of thinking, a lot of reflecting. I'm seeing it is a time to pour into yourself, especially with the Ace of Cups. Usually with the cup, we have it overflowing over so that we can give our love to those around us and our family members. I just looked at the timer. It was 3:33. Because I thought it wasn't recording. That would have been really sad. But, you know, we have a lot of mental things that are going on right now. A lot of thinking, a lot of swords. That's 8. That's 13 swords. And, you know, when you think about the 10 of swords, yeah. It's, if you don't know, it's a guy that has like 10 swords in his back and he's like laying on the ground. But, you know, you add 3 of those and it's the 3 of swords. Anyways, it is a time to reflect. Your Chariot for now needs to stall, and it's time to accept a lot of things that happen. And that's a lot of what moving on is just accepting what is, and then knowing that you can either make a change for the better or, you know, keep going down the same cycle and the same path. Slow down, a time to reflect, and then you'll be able to, you know, leap like a fool. That sounds weird. It's time to leap. It's time to make a new choice. You know, it starts with the 0. I feel like, yeah, you can start to spiral. I'm seeing a lot of obsession energy, especially when you start to overthink. You know, there's more swords and more water. You know, with swords and water, it's like air and water, and it's like a mix of emotion. With the King of Swords in reverse, it's a lot about, I think, about a tyrant. I don't know, very abusive with your words. Pretty mean to like an unbalanced throat chakra with Gemini male energy. If that makes sense. It's time to draw deep within, especially with the 2 of Swords in reverse here. When you start spiraling and when you start overthinking and when you start being mean to yourself, it's time to take a break from that and start pouring the things you love back into yourself. It's time to be young with the things that you love, especially, you know, if you had an old hobby like painting, or a calling like crochet, different types of artwork, singing, you know, playing an instrument. You can start doing that. Start pouring things that you love back into yourself. Ace of Cups, I think of the overflowing cup, like, you know, you drinking that water and you filling up your cup so that you can overflow it and give it to others. Try to start a new cycle with, you know, one of your manifestations. There is a reality out there where you have the perfect body. So put yourself in that reality and start thinking like that person. You start thinking, okay, so I'm not gonna eat all this food today. I'm gonna save half of it for later, or I'll go to the gym today because that's what the person that I'm envisioning myself to be, what they would start doing. Whenever I see the Lovers and I'm giving like a single type of tarot reading like this where there isn't really anybody else involved, it's a lot of like coming together. It's a lot of falling in love with yourself, with your feminine side and your masculine side. If you enjoy watching certain types of movies, or if you like reading certain types of books, that is your passion. That is, things that you love and your North Star, your calling. Try not to let others influence or others' opinions sway you into liking things and not liking things. Everybody is allowed to like something, and everybody is allowed to not like something. Unless it's like harming anybody, or, unless it's bullying or anything like a lower frequency like that, then that's fine. Like, let your homie play cosplay, let your homie be a furry, like, celebrate. Instead of overthinking, and instead of, getting in these spiraling thoughts, give yourself love. Celebrate yourself, celebrate with those around you, celebrate, your vibe will find your tribe. And with the Page of Swords, being on your phone too much, I would try to recluse myself from that and try to do things that will kind of put you in the now and kind of will make you appreciate where you are now and being present with what you're doing. Yeah, not putting all your time into a device or, TikTok, stuff like that. Seeing the 10 of Cups in reverse and the 9 of Cups, it's good to put yourself in that singularity and into that mindset of centering yourself and being happy with what you have right now. Because, if you're always thinking, as soon as I get this and this and this, I'm going to be happy. Well, as soon as you get that, you're going to make the same mistake again as wanting the next thing. So, it's a never-ending cycle of not being happy with what you have now, getting what you want, getting your manifestation, and then wanting to manifest the next thing right away because you're not appreciating the manifestation that came true now. Think about yourself 7 years ago, or 10 years ago. Think about the situation that you were in then and the situation that you are in now. You manage your universe. It's called what did Bashar say? I imagine nation. So we're a nation of magicians, and we create our reality into what we put our energy into. So yeah, be gracious, be centered, think about the blessings that you have now, and just be grateful, and follow that North Star that's in your body. Because I was even thinking about, sorry, this is a long reading. I was watching this TikTok about Wicked. It's the take on the TikToker's point of view when they were saying that Galinda wasn't happy because Fiera was able to follow Elphaba, but she wasn't able to. She followed, the book, and she still wasn't happy. She would have been happy with Elphaba, probably, and that's what she regrets. And that's the thing, is that you have to follow your North Star, even if you feel like there's other people around you that are telling you that you're wrong, or like you're crazy, or just things like that. If you feel it in your heart, and if you know that it's right, if you know that it's for you, if you can feel it, if you just know, then yeah, follow that. If you watch a lot of movies, a lot of the time the character doesn't follow their passions or follow what their North Star is, and that causes an unhappy ending. So yeah, I hope that helped. Have a good rest of your day, and happy full moon. Bye.